All right, folks, you're watching the Cam Rogers Show presented by AutoList. I am Cam Rogers. Let's take a look at the latest NFL rumors out there on this Monday morning. Was Rob Gronkowski almost traded? Well, sure as heck seems that way, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. The Patriots were indeed close to dealing their star tight end. Now, this is unsurprising to me, number one, because Rob Gronkowski was reportedly mulling retirement. And here's what Bill Belichick does when players mull retirement. He says, okay, you know what? You're going to let your decision drag out. We are going to now pursue a trade because you're not all in on the Patriots. This is Bill Belichick, ladies and gentlemen. He wants players who are all in, ready to roll for the NFL season, and Gronk was out there doing other stuff, going to WWE events and all of this, instead of focusing on the offseason for the New England Patriots. Ergo, the Patriots perhaps pursue some trade options, and according to Ian Rappaport, there were several teams out there interested in the services of Gronkowski, perhaps going down as the best tight end in NFL history. What a story that would be if the Patriots actually decide to trade Rob Gronkowski. It's probably not going to happen. Now, Gronk told his close advisors that he only wants to catch passes from Tom Brady. So that then led to the whole Gronk-Belichick meeting where Gronk eventually asserted his commitment to the Patriots, and with that, eventually, Rob Gronkowski got his reworked contract, and it sure does appear that Gronk will remain with the New England Patriots going forward here. But there was a point where maybe this guy was going to be dealt, and just keep that in mind here, folks, because I have talked about it many times on this program about the rickety nature of the relationship among Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick. Whereas you look at the ESPN report from Seth Wickersham recently about the friction within the Patriots leadership, Gronk was a part of that friction for some time here, where Bill Belichick didn't like how Gronk was mulling retirement. He was kind of wishy-washy about the future and all of this stuff. I'm sure Patriots players out there are now taking notice. If you float the R word, retirement, Bill Belichick is going to look at a trade because he would rather get compensation than just let you retire. Now, Gronk actually threatened retirement if he were to be traded, which is kind of ironic, which almost led the Patriots to be like, okay, then sit down with Bill Belichick and actually assert that you are committed to this team here. Back to Seth Wickersham, if I may. Alex Guerrero, of course, the main point of contention. He is Tom Brady's trainer, also the trainer for Rob Gronkowski as well. New England won yesterday against the Houston Texans, but they should probably sign a free agent out there who's still looking for a new team and yet to decide. His name is Dez Bryant. We'll get to him later. Also, Steve on Facebook Live saying, Cam, please tell me why Peterman is still being considered the starter for my Bills. Steve, I don't have a good answer for you right now. As we bring up LeSean McCoy, I'll give you some updates on him, speaking of your Buffalo Bills. But just to put a bow on what you said, Steve, yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, why did you guys trade away A.J. McCarron? I was texting with one of my buddies yesterday, Thomas Pilano, big Bills fan, and he was saying that Peterman is very much part of the problem here for the Bills. I think the coaching was an issue yesterday for Buffalo. I think the run game, the offensive line, no Eric Wood anymore, no Richie Incognito. Cordy Glenn is now with the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, Steve, I could probably rival Nathan Peterman in terms of quarterback skills. Oh, wait, here's a solution. Sign Colin Kaepernick. That would be a great idea. See, oh my God, I'm going to go right on a tangent here. I'm supposed to be talking about LeSean McCoy, but if I may, did you guys see those highlights between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, where Nathan Peterman looked like a high school junior varsity quarterback, and we have a guy named Colin Kaepernick who is out of the NFL right now because of his kneeling during the national anthem, where players are still doing it anyway. So why not bring in Colin Kaepernick, sign him? You can do away with this collusion case, by the way, and I felt bad for Bills fans yesterday. I was watching the game, and I was just like, how can this guy be a starting quarterback? Now, I understand why Josh Allen wasn't the starter yesterday. He's way too raw, not ready. But he actually did see some action, and good for him, I guess, to get some real repetitions out there. But, oh my God, I see Bray on YouTube Live saying Josh Allen should start. I don't know, Bray. I don't want to ruin Josh Allen's hopes to be perhaps a legit quarterback in the NFL at some point down the road. I don't know. It's just like, it's ridiculous. Tom Savage last year, Scott Tolzien last year as well. This year it's Nathan Peterman. And the writing was on the wall, too. The guy had 5 interceptions against the Chargers last season. It's just like, guys, bring in Colin Kaepernick, please, and make the NFL a little more entertaining than what I watched from my Baltimore Ravens yesterday. Now, with all that said, I'm not going to be a spoiled little brat and say, you know, I'm mad that the Ravens blew out the Bills. I'm very content with the Baltimore Ravens right now. But as for just like a general NFL fan out there, I mean, when you watch that game, Buffalo and Baltimore, you're like, what am I looking at? Especially when Nathan Peterman is throwing balls that aren't even close to his wide receivers. So, good performance for Baltimore against Buffalo. Meanwhile, for these Bills, LeSean McCoy not going to see charges here. His ex-girlfriend did sue McCoy last month in connection with a July 10th home invasion in which she was beaten and robbed of jewelry. The lawsuit states that McCoy didn't directly order the robbery of his home, but that he, quote, had actual and constructive knowledge of criminal activity existing on the property. According to reports, he's not going to see any charges. The NFL is not expected to discipline McCoy either. All right, so that's the latest there. Seeing a comment here from Keno. Cam, do you think Steelers will win their division? For now, yes, but yesterday was not very inspiring against the Cleveland Browns. I did pick the Steelers to win the AFC North, though, before the season started. All right, you guys are watching the Cam Rogers Show presented by AutoList. If you're looking for a new or used car out there and you're tired of browsing a million sites, go to Autolist.com. Browse the largest source of inventory on the web, or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android today. Some more NFL rumors here. Was Andrew Luck almost traded to the Cleveland Browns? Well, that story came out yesterday, and that coming from Fox Sports' Jay Glazer, that the Browns made a run at Luck this past trade deadline. Now, given the timing, the trade offer would have been made by former leadership in Cleveland, GM Sashi Brown, of course. Dorsey actually delivered with the trade, acquiring Tyrod Taylor instead of Andrew Luck, of course, and drafting Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma there in that first round. Can you imagine if the Colts actually traded away Andrew Luck? That would be the worst decision in franchise history. That and also starting Curtis Painter at quarterback. One of those two. But, I mean, for Luck here, apparently he was seeing some trade offers and all this stuff. The Browns have been quite aggressive, by the way, the last year and a half in terms of trades and the draft and all of this stuff, and rightfully so. All of that hard work throughout the offseason for Cleveland, and all they could do was tie yesterday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. By the way, the first tie between two teams in a Week 1 game since the Richard Nixon administration. So it has been quite some time there. No, the Colts are not trading Andrew Luck, all right? But I do want to report on that because it came out yesterday before the 1 o'clock games went going during Week 1 of the NFL season. All right, well, let's take a look at the next story here. No national anthem policy this year, or at least a new one. The 2017 anthem policy will remain in effect for the entire 2018 campaign, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Apparently, too many people have stances too strong for any sort of compromise here, although talks between the NFLPA and the NFL will continue. Now, of course, we all know that the NFL approved a new policy back in May that would fine teams if players didn't stand for the national anthem or They had the option, of course, to stay in the locker room if they so choose. The problem, of course, was that this policy was not negotiated with the NFLPA, and so the NFLPA filed a non-injury grievance back in July. And so here we are, the NFL and NFLPA engaging in discussions with no real solution in sight here in terms of the national anthem. So given the polarized nature of this topic, it's hardly surprising that the two sides haven't found a compromise here. Players did kneel yesterday during the national anthem, by the way, including Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson of the Miami Dolphins, Brandon Marshall of the Denver Broncos as well. And, of course, the commander-in-chief, Brandon Marshall, linebacker for the Denver Broncos. There are two Brandon Marshalls out there. Twitter, Donald Trump, taking it. What has he got? This was yesterday. Wow, NFL first game ratings are way down over an already bad last year comparison. Viewership declined 13%, the lowest in over a decade. If the players stood proudly for our flag and anthem, it is all shown on broadcast. Maybe ratings could come back. Otherwise, worse. The 45th president of the United States chiming in on the national anthem debate here. So the 2017 policy is that NFL players are encouraged but not required to stand for the national anthem. A lot of the blame right now is falling on Roger Goodell. And I see Bray on comments saying Roger Goodell is a wussy. Ooh, that's some fighting words there, Bray, on YouTube Live. I mean, I understand why people are saying Roger Goodell has to step up to the plate here, as the president once called him the $40 million commissioner to make some sort of compromise happen here between the NFL and NFLPA. At the end of the day, the crux of the argument is kneeling during the national anthem disrespectful to the American flag? The president seems to think yes. Kaepernick seems to think no. Whose side are you on? Type away in comments. T for Trump, K for Colin Kaepernick. Want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Bray is already in with the comment saying T for Trump. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'll tell you what, this is probably going to be the last time I talk about the national anthem. I can probably say that here on air because there's really no new update after this, right? We already know that the 2017 national anthem policy is going to be enacted for this season, unless for some reason, of course, a new policy is etched into legislation. I'll talk about it. But after today, there's no real reason to discuss any further. Players don't have to stand for the anthem this season. That's why the likes of Kenny Stills and others are kneeling as we stand. So there you go. Seeing the comments flow in. Dallas, we got Mike, we got Tim, Sherry, Doris, and the blend of K's and T's. So I think this sample right here, I've got the broadcasts on my laptop and phone respectively, is all we need to see to know that this is a very polarizing topic, and that's why the NFL and NFLPA can't figure out a solution. And I don't think we ever will see a solution in regards to this. So if the NFL is smart, just let the players do what they want. Like, please. And then we can all move on with our lives. And if you are offended for a player kneeling during the national anthem, you shouldn't be. Because guess what? You can stand for the national anthem, and you know in your own head that you are respecting the American flag, and you go on with your life. Right? Isn't that so simple? Like, why do we have to worry about what other people are doing? Right? Because doesn't that just like add unneeded stress to you? You guys don't need that stress. I'm sure you guys have all busy lives out there. Why add more fatigue to your mental capacity? There's no need to. Don't worry about other players kneeling. Just sit back, relax. If you want to stand for the anthem, that is your right. But if other players out there are kneeling, it's not worth getting angry over. Believe me. It might take years off your life. It's not worth it. All right. So that's the latest there at the national anthem debate. How about a Le'Veon Bell trade? Could it go down? Well, Adam Schefter says no. The Steelers have no plans to A, rescind the franchise tag for Le'Veon Bell, and B, actually trade Le'Veon Bell. Multiple sources around the league believe that he will join the Steelers sometime before the end of September. Until then, Bell is remaining in Florida, training and absorbing fines of $853,000 for each game he misses. That's a lot of money. Le'Veon Bell, come on, can I suit up for you and make that much in a given day? James Conner, of course, the starting running back in the meantime, had a hefty amount of carries yesterday for Pittsburgh against the Cleveland Browns. I think the Steelers should still think about a trade, because I have said on this very program before that Le'Veon Bell is not coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2019. That I can guarantee you, which means he is going to be a free agent, right, in 2019, and he can sign wherever he wants. So if you are Pittsburgh and you are GM Kevin Colbert, what do? You understand that, okay, I can at least get some compensation now. Why not trade Le'Veon Bell this year to a team that perhaps could use him and that is well equipped with 2 first-round picks? The Green Bay Packers, I am hammering home this trade. 2019 first-round pick, 2019 fourth-round pick from Green Bay to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh dishes away Le'Veon Bell. You guys remember the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes, if you will, the Kawhi Leonard trade rumors out there? The logic was that San Antonio was going to trade Kawhi Leonard because they knew he was going to leave after this coming season. So why not get compensation now rather than nothing later? It's the same logic here. Pittsburgh should know that Bell is not coming back. We're getting to the point where this bridge is like half burned, and eventually the entire bridge is going to be burned. And the metaphor is Le'Veon Bell, bridge, rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got his offensive lineman calling him out. Villanueva has been surfaced in terms of getting referenced by players out there. He's an offensive lineman. David DeCastro called out Le'Veon Bell as well. These are guys who block for you, Le'Veon, and if they're not all in on blocking for you, you might as well not show up. You might as well request a trade, and maybe he is right now. So Green Bay makes some sense for me. A team, obviously, that is not in the same conference as the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that has a couple of first-round picks to play with. They were actually part of some Khalil Mack trade rumors because of those first-round picks. So if you are the Packers, you give Kevin Colbert a call and see what he's willing to do. I would not buy into this rumor out here saying that no Le'Veon Bell trade is going to happen, because every team out there has a price. And if Green Bay comes to the table with a big fat price and a big fat offer, if you will, well then, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers may just have to say, yes. All right, folks, you're watching the Cam Rogers Show presented by Autolist. We got Steven saying, great show as always, Cam. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, Steven, be sure to watch on Wednesday morning as well, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Appreciate your love. Let's talk about Dez Bryant, but before I do that, let's give some love to Autolist. Head to Autolist.com to get the largest source of car inventory on the web, folks. If you're looking for a new or used car out there, get it done on Autolist.com or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone or Android today. Dez Bryant to New England? Well, he was quite active on Twitter yesterday. Now, I usually don't follow a lot of people on Twitter because I have this OCD problem where, my Twitter feed goes wild if I follow a lot of people. You guys know Harris Rubenstein, of course. He follows 2,000 people. I have no idea how he follows his Twitter timeline. I can't do that. But I did eventually follow Dez Bryant on Twitter, and I turned on the push notifications so I know all the latest on Dez Bryant, and I can keep you guys updated on it. And one of his tweets yesterday was almost 100% exactly what I have been saying for months about Dez and the New England Patriots. Here's what he said, quote, "I'd rather go somewhere I can showcase my skills for real. If I line up next to Gronk, Hogan, Edelman, I'm sure getting a one-on-one matchup, plus I won't be criticized for expressing my love for the game. Haven't I said this? I have said this. Cam Rogers had this before Dez Bryant even said it out there on Twitter. I said Dez Bryant in the red zone would get one-on-one matchups with Rob Gronkowski and other pieces to that offense, getting attention. I also said that Dez Bryant would not get criticized for showing passion on the football field, for showing passion on the sidelines, because Tom Brady, for crying out loud, screams at his offensive coordinator at times, and he gets no flack for it. So it makes so much sense from so many perspectives. The problem is New England hasn't shown all that much interest in Dez Bryant, at least for now. Now, the Patriots won yesterday against the Houston Texans, but they're playing this team called the Jacksonville Jaguars this week in the late window on CBS. And if New England struggles on the outside at the wide receiver position, they may realize that, okay, we're going to have to make a deal of some sort via a trade for a wide receiver, or maybe we sign Dez Bryant. I still have New England as my number one team for Dez. And I'm just going to stay there with it. I mean, Pittsburgh's at 2, sure. Houston's at 3. Tane Hill, chill out, Cam. Have a Kit Kat, bro. Tane Hill, I don't eat any sugar, so if you can give me maybe some celery sticks and some sugar-free peanut butter, I'll chill out. All right, buddy? Is it time for the Patriots, though, to call Dez Bryant? I mean, it is. It's got to be. Type 3 for yes, 4 for no in the comments section. Keno saying 3. Javier saying Dez Bryant is a diva. But he's not, though. Like, he's not that much more of a diva than Tom Brady is. There's this double standard out there for some reason that Dez Bryant is a lunatic, but like Tom Brady is not, and they both yell probably the same amount. The problem is Dez Bryant comes from the Dallas Cowboys, where everything is blown up out of proportion. Tom Brady plays for the New England Patriots, albeit the Patriots are a big market team, but they don't get it as much blow up as the Dallas Cowboys. That's just the reality of the situation there. So we'll see what happens with Dez. He's taking his time in terms of where he is going to head next. But the Patriots make a lot of sense. So let me know in comments what you guys think about New England and Dez Bryant. Tane Hill says, WTF, man. Yeah, I got to keep this, fit figure there, man. I can't do the sugar. I'm sorry. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Mizzen and Maine. They're making me look good here on the program today. I'm wearing one of their shirts, Sweat Wicking Technology, comfortable as F shirts, folks. All of the big players in the industry wear them now. Troy Aikman was wearing one during the broadcast for that Dallas Cowboys game. So, hey, get one for yourself, comfortable.af. That is the way to go. All right, let's talk about Earl Thomas, because he talked about the contract situation with the Seattle Seahawks. The All-Pro safety told reporters that he'd like to stay in Seattle, quote, if they want me. Went on to say, quote, I talked to my agent. We understood that I had a lot of money on the line. I just couldn't throw it away. So basically, I decided to come back. I'm glad I did. I mean, yeah, the guy gets fined if he doesn't show up. And now Seattle waived all those fines, by the way, with Earl Thomas returning and all that. But if he missed regular season games, he would miss a paycheck. Basically what Le'Veon Bell is going through right now. He is missing $855,000 every Sunday. Earl Thomas did not want to miss out on the game checks. Now, he is entering his final season of his 4-year, $40 million deal. We all know that Earl Thomas simply wants to get valued. He does not want to go to the Dallas Cowboys. He wants to get paid. And if Seattle is willing to do that, then he's like, sure, let's do it. I'll stay in Seattle. I'll be your safety. The problem is, if Seattle does not value Earl Thomas, then he is willing to go to a team that will. And the Dallas Cowboys appear to be the top-line franchise on that list, because they have offered the Seattle Seahawks before a second-round pick. And Seattle was like, no, we want a first-round pick. And Dallas is like, no, we're good. Now, I have made some noise about a potential Earl Thomas trade deadline deal, because we could be staring at a scenario where Dallas is still in it, talking about the playoffs. Seattle is out of it. Dallas desperate to make that one last move to put them over the edge to make a big-time run for the postseason. Seattle like, okay, we should just probably rebuild at this point. Ergo, a trade goes down, and Seattle's probably like, okay, we'll take that second-round pick. We're out of it, and we don't really want to pay Earl Thomas. So maybe that's a situation we could be facing down the line during this season. So we'll see what happens. Brian on comments here on Facebook Live, Dallas does not need a safety, and we need a quarterback. We need a new coach and offensive coordinator. Wow, Brian, you sure want a lot of changes there at the Dallas Cowboys. Appreciate you watching the show, my man.